In the time bridging May and June, stuff happened. Young people came together to talk about DRR, disaster risk reduction, because of three very important things. Number one, young people are young. They have energy to put to use, and they also want to do stuff. Number two, young people want to be involved in decision making and should. And number three, in case anybody has overlooked this fact, young people have the most stake in the future that they will inherit. Therefore, they should be acknowledged for number one and number two. It was a Saturday, the last day of May, when young people, about 30, got together. They were participants in this discussion forum. They were facilitators, organizers of this event alongside the overarching UNISDR, the UN thing that's responsible for disaster risk reduction. They discussed and laughed and planned and worked together because they want to make a positive change, and they need to keep yelling it from the rooftops because older people still think that they know best. And maybe they do, but they still need to incorporate the diversity that is wanting to be part of the decision making. So the work on Saturday continued on Sunday, and on Monday they presented to a larger forum of Pacific peoples at an evening side event, and I picked up a couple of things. One, youth need to be involved, and what has been the rallying cry for women's groups, including young women, as well as persons with disabilities: nothing about us without us. Because young people are going to inherit the future, while a lot of young people are actually doing stuff and being very forthright in their leadership, they're still overlooked so much in the larger scale of things. Two, you need a new breed of leaders. With so many issues coming out, with climate change, with the intensity of disasters ever increasing and so on, as well as the mix of the information that's coming forth through research, through advances in technology, a new breed of leaders is needed. So investing in youth, whether it be their education, whether it be their access to those decision-making forums, is important. There's also a need to kill the jargon. This was something that a lot of young people have issues with. It's not just that, you can always look up jargon and find out things, but for young people in their diversity, whether you talk about young people with disabilities, you talk about young people who may not have had access to education that has helped them along the way, or young people that never got to finish education, or young people living outside of urban areas with readily updatable information that they can access, breaking down jargon is incredibly important, whether you're talking about disaster scaling systems or a whole bunch of other things that can be broken down. The people in leadership need to stop using big words for actually really simple concepts, or even looking at the academic and research community. They also need to explain a couple of things, and I guess that's where the media can kind of bridge that jargon issue. And not just the media, but communicators in general, as well as activists themselves, need to learn how to talk to the people, because if nothing else, the people are the ones that are going to be affected. And I've touched on education and integrating youth, which were the main speaking points from the Monday forum already, but really it's about what young people want is to take the knowledge that is available to the wider community and tailor it for much younger people. There have been a whole lot of studies around understanding how young an individual can be before they really form their sense of the world, and having information that can be accessible to a child, from whatever impressionable age forward, is really quite important. And there's always going to be push for changes to curriculums and so on from young people who have been through those kind of curriculums. I, for one, wish there was more art in curriculums. And that was another thing that young people were trying to raise, was finding creative ways, maybe even incorporating art into spreading the messages that need to be spread. And I guess it's not just about disaster risk reduction, but the environment and a whole lot of other socially relevant issues that need to be incorporated into not just informal education, but formal education itself. And big ups to the amazing organizers that let me crash their sessions. I really appreciate that they brought in even young communicators to try and not just spread the message, but continue the conversation about these kinds of things. This has been another FemVid. I've been Sean Rawls. Thanks for watching.